There we go. Live. All right, so we're going to continue doing some blitz here. Trying to get to 2600, which is proving devilishly difficult. At least I've been staying over 2500, so I haven't been dropping down to 2300 as I had predicted. I haven't plummeted, but you know, I've brought a lot of effort to the games. Now this game here I want to look at from this morning before nope, not this one. Wrong game. Okay, yeah, this is the game I want to review before I play another game. So this game here, I got just an amazing position out of the opening. Okay, so c4. Wait. Oh, this computer's so weak, it's changing its mind rapidly. First it says I should play c4 and it's good. Then it says no, it's not good. Queen b2, rook d1. Yeah, my opponent didn't take on b2, which would be critical looking. They played knight e7, and then I thought, oh, my position's really smooth. I'd also thought about pawn takes d4 without knight e7. I didn't expect yet. This was the move I wondered about. And then the computer says I should play rook d1, which I would not have done. I would have played here. Queen d4. And then I would have probably tried like takes, 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 and here. Isn't this a very nice position? Computer slowly coming around to it a little bit, but it still thinks black's okay. And it also thought that right here, f6 would be stronger. That's crazy. And then it says the best moves for white are d6 and knight f3. What's wrong with taking? They're going to take this way, aren't they? Tempo the bishop. It only has one square. And then they're going to trap. Well, not trap it, but, you know, box it out completely. Interesting. So f6... and white should play d6 with the idea of takes, takes, and these pieces are trapped. Bonkers. Would have never thought of like any of that. And I don't understand why rook d1 should be this big improvement here. Let's see, rook d1, queen d4, queen b3, queen e5 check, knight e2, defend b7, cd5, boom. Okay, is queen c7 forced? What else could black do? Huh, white's better here. 3 pawn sack, and it's amazing. And I think the computer should play knight c6, knight e2, knight b4, queen f3. Wow. With some tiny edge to white. That's bonkers. Again, you know, a two pawn sack, in some cases maybe even 3 depending on the variation. Wow. Okay. So much for opening theory. My opponent developed, which looks natural, but now these pieces are blocked up. Play it here. I got castled, blundered this, plus a million. And this position I failed to win. And this is what I want to try and figure out how to do better. So First of all, it's saying it's perfectly fine to just move the queen away and avoid the trade. That's true. That's true, Charlie. I'll be right back. I got some stuff in the oven. Alright, so really interesting. You can just move the queen, leaving that queen there. Everybody's happy in the center. This pawn's in danger if they play f6. Take, 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 and you don't lose the piece. And the king's bad. Queen e4. If they take, maybe develop a rook, maybe play knight f7 first. Stuff like this. Okay. Okay, so I traded. Knight f7's correct, rook g8's correct. Wow, and this is incredible. Incredible. The level of the computer in terms of understanding games. So I played d takes c, right? Because my pawn on d4 is hanging, and that gives me a 2-pawn advantage, right? With their pawn structure bad. The computer says it's even better to trade this bishop. This game, I get stuck with this dark squared bishop just doing nothing. The entire game, it's stuck, it's frozen. I have a 2-pawn advantage for like 30 moves and can't do anything with it. And I'm basically going over this to see how to play the endgame better with the 2 extra pawns, but amazing that the computer can already see here that you're better off trading off that bishop, even though it defends their pawn, and then take. And now no matter what black does, the files are open for your rooks. You traded the knight that becomes amazing on d5. Hey, Sam. How's it going? Wow. So that is the first... Yeah, so-so, Sam. So-so. I almost broke through about... I almost broke through against this opponent here. I beat them 3 games in a row. And then I got this endgame here. And as you can see, I took on c5. I'm 2 pawns up for nothing. Right? King in the center. Position looks very good. I couldn't win this endgame. I eventually lost. I used all my time. Couldn't find how to win it. Eventually lost. And then our match kind of stabilized. So I didn't really make much progress. But amazing here foresight from the computer to trade the bad bishop. And just play the endgame up 1 pawn instead of 2. Crazy. So I took, knight came here, I played rook ac1. Computer still says +3, so that means it is still possible to win this endgame. Trading on e7 is also developing the opponent, right? Just a crazy, but crazy deep understanding from the computer. I don't know how old you are, Sam, but when I was young, they said like the computers didn't have good positional judgment. They could calculate well, but they didn't have good positional judgment. And now the computer's saying you should trade the bishop on e7. I mean, That's some amazing positional judgment. Amazing positional judgment, right? I mean, what a level. So I trade rook c1 is top move, rook d1 is top move, bishop f6 is the top move. I'm just going to miscalculate something here in a moment. Rook here. Yeah, as I was taking a walk, I was thinking about this moment, and I was wondering if knight to g5 was better than what I did. I traded here, right? Put the bishop back here. I mean, the computer still says +4, but my bishop just sat here forever, and I couldn't do anything. So let's look at this move I was thinking about. I was thinking about knight here, just extricating the piece. Takes, takes, rook takes. And then I was wondering about coming back over with rook e1, which it says is the top move. This is what I thought of on my walk. So what's the idea? I just offload the bad bishop, basically, that I'm so frustrated by at this point. And target the e-pawn and coordinate my position. It says +4, but that's insane. I mean, to a human, this is plus somewhere between 1.5 and 1.75. There's no specific move or tactic or line the computer is giving that explains why I should do this. But this was a good solution. My bishop's so bad I should be thinking about losing a pawn just to lose the bishop. I come back. Okay, here I drop half a pawn easily. With this move b3. It gives them a hook for a4 for some counterplay. Wow. So I should do something like this. Okay, so I play this here. This move here it doesn't like. I can't tell what plan it's telling me to do. It's telling me to sort of like shuffle my rooks. I don't see the point. By the way, folks, this is part of why, you know, working with a computer is very, very hard to do. Because even when you see its moves, you may not understand any of it. Not be able to apply it, not be able to remember it. Maybe double with the knight on g5 and then try and break through. Let's see if that's the point. Rook d2, rook f8, rook d1, rook e8, knight g5, king c8, let's say. Rook d3 is the plan. a5. As far as I can tell, this computer is doing nothing. Oh my god, it just won. Why doesn't it ever play knight e6? Knight f6, e f6, rook e6, f7, rook f6, rook d6. Okay, that works, but yeah. So rook c4, a5. The king is pointless. This is bad as well. What should I be doing? Just sitting? Bishop g5? Knight d4? I thought about knight d4. So basically knight d4 still.
Here, I can go king d3 and come to c4 and defend this pawn, and my king becomes good. That was a huge blunder. I was worried about this taking this, and I forgot that, you know, it's just discovered check wherever you go. So play this stupid move to prevent the knight. Now I play the knight first. And yeah, I realized that this allowed knight c3 check, but we were playing quickly. Is king d3 still playable? A lot of the advantage is gone by now. So is computer. So get back to this, rook here, and yeah, now it's already gone. So all these slow moves with the king and the pawn, basically just, yeah, just slowly, not doing anything. Huh. But the computer's plan also involves a lot of slowly not doing something and then eventually winning. 1 second. All right. Lunch is ready, but let's say I have to win a game before I can have lunch. Kosti asked you to help me, and you're willing. What do I think is holding me back? I don't know. I'm not sure right now. I've been working on my opening repertoire for Blitz, so that's getting a little bit better. That might be part of why I'm not 2300 right now. So maybe the repertoire. But still, every now and then I just get thrashed in the opening. Maybe that's something that's like normal that'll happen at every level, but there's definitely still some work there. Like I had a game today where I fell into a weird trap in the opening. It basically cost me one of my games today. I think it's this one. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen this trap. Albin counter gambit. So, I do, Rogues. I do. Can you join for Saturday? All right, so look at this, kind of like a quasi-theoretical position. You know, it's supposed to be pleasant for white. That is perfect. That is perfect, Rogues. And Rogues, would you be interested in playing a full, like, 3-hour tournament against the other participants, or would you like to just help us by playing one game with cash, and then get on with your life and day? It's 8 a.m. Pacific, which in England is probably 4 p.m. And could go for about 3 hours. You'd be keen for the full tournament. Okay. Nice. I'll put you down for that. You're in Brittany. Not in Britain, but Brittany. Okay. Like in France. So same latitude or longitude or whatever, but an hour later in the day, or yeah, ahead, whatever. So great. So that's probably 17 p.m. And is your chess.com username rogues32 as well, or is it slightly different? So Sam, I like vaguely thought
that the position that you would get here in this opening, right? This is my vague knowledge of openings, was that you get something like as follows: here, 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 and then you play, a slightly pleasant end game with white. That was basically my knowledge, right, of the Albin. But my opponent played this weird move, bishop c5. I looked it up later, and it's actually playable, even though it looks like an insane blunder. Then pawn takes pawn. They have bishop g4, and basically, I just lost the game in 2 or 3 moves here in these complications. Not just did I get a bad position, I also used up my clock. So I could have played fast and blundered even worse, maybe, or I could have tried to play slower, but even playing slower, trying to come out of the complications, up a piece and then just win the game on the increment. I couldn't find my way, and apparently there is no way. So, if you go f3, they can take and play queen h4 check, which that was really hard to calculate. If you go bishop e2, they can take and play bishop d4, which looks basically just fine for black. Yeah, I play with a 2-second increment. And so I played queen d2, which looked like a brilliant way to keep the piece going. And then here, and then it fell apart. Queen e3 castles, and I can't take either piece because of checkmate. And basically, I'm already lost here, and I've got 20 seconds against 2 minutes, 20 seconds, or whatever, 30 seconds against 2.5 minutes. So I am still occasionally just losing a game straight out of the opening because I'm making this new repertoire, but that means there are various sort of dubious lines that I've never seen before or haven't really practiced. And that one was pretty tricky. Pretty good trick. All my life playing e4, there are certain trick openings that you face now and then if you're a master and you faced it once before and you've looked it up once before, it starts to be less of a problem, but better chance that you kind of remember what to do. So I think one of the things is maybe the opening repertoire needs a little more work. And beyond that, I'm not exactly sure what's holding me back. I had a great streak going until today. I actually went 12 games, I think, without a loss. 11 wins and 1 draw. So I was on a slightly upward trend, and now, 50-50 since then. But anyway, let's see if I can win a game, and then eat my lunch as a reward. Other possible things holding me back. I think maybe I'm just calculating slowly, partly slow. I have a bad score against the King's Indian, I think, with white. I get good positions, obviously. But I'm very bad at playing them out short on time. So I could maybe just switch to the exchange King's Indian for Blitz, and then play like a real system in classical. That might be more practical for me. Quick c6. Interesting. So already out of book, by the way. For what it's worth. My overall speed is not particularly fast either. I have a perfectionist mentality, but I'm trying to change that a little bit. If they go b4, I'll play knight a4. If they go knight c5, I'll play b4. I considered b4 on that last move. Just didn't want to... Wasn't sure I wanted to commit yet. Okay, so they're going to play f5 now. And then I'll maybe have to play f3 because of this bishop getting trapped. a4, b4, knight a2. For sure. That much I know, Sam. That's why I mentioned the perfectionism as, you know, maybe something that's been holding me back. So I don't know for sure if they're going to go for a kingside attack this game at this point, or if they're going to try and, you know, meet me here because they have some space from this. I don't know if they'll go all in on the king side or try and play the whole board. Okay, so it's looking like they might want the king side. So they're going to play knight f6 in a moment. I won't yet have queen here. But if they play knight f6, then I'll play queen e1. Okay. Maybe they're going to play bishop h6, but I can play bishop f2. I don't know, this is a little weird. I'm not used to this move at this point. I guess the queen can go here. Yeah, strong instinct to not trade that dark squared bishop. Clock is equal, I'm aware of it. How do I intend to defend this? Not sure. I'm now realizing the pawn's sufficiently defended. So I'm not sure I have a plan. We'll see. We will see if David has a plan. Kind of thinking I might put the bishop here, queen here, play bishop h4, or I don't know, I can't play rook c1. It's a little bit annoying. It's hard to make a lot of progress here, but my opponent doesn't have a lot of great things they can do yet either, so. Okay, so they commit to that. I could take here, take here, take here. Hard to find a good move here. I want to do this, but it doesn't seem to work. I'm just going to do this. I didn't see a way to take on a5. I didn't see a way to... can win this pawn. I don't care too much. Wait, queen h4, g3 maybe as well? No. I'll just take on e4, not here. Looking at bishop f4. That's pretty clever. Oh, I didn't see that move. So I assume now I'm mated in one move, right? That was stupid. So that was a blunder because I was trying to play faster. Oopsie, right? So that's the cost if I go a little bit faster, right? I was trying to stay a little bit ahead on the clock there. Let's have a look real quick with the computer. Computer says A4 to prevent black's move. Interesting. I thought if they want to do that, let them do that. Oh yeah, the computer doesn't even say they should play it actually, so that's weird. Computer says they should play knight h5 now, so I don't know why I should have played a4. But now it says b4 is pretty good. It says b4 is fine there as well. It likes a4 less than b4, so that was an alternative I was thinking about here. Let me just look. I thought I would have to play f3. Yeah, no, it says there's also knight b3. f3. Okay, a little bit better. So we get this. One thing is that I had thought that eventually I'd be attacking the a5 pawn. I didn't realize that I would need something else to break through. So I thought my plan would be stronger than it was. It says I could take on a5. Oh, I missed this. I only looked at this when they can trade on e2 and then trade on a5, but I missed that I could take this way and then recapture. So that was just a game-winning move I didn't notice. And how much time did I even spend on this move? Let me go back here where it'll show me. 30 seconds. Which is like a deep think, and I didn't find a one-move capture. And here I should go king e1 if I'd seen that the e3 square was defended. And then, yeah, I'm still better. And then it was mate. All right, next game. Oh my god, it's been years since I've played this position. Hey Nebula, welcome. Glad you found it. Wishing you the best. Trying to take my pawn. Trying to take my peon. Not a fan of the opponent taking my peon here. Not a fan of defending it either. I don't know if I'm a big fan of pushing it either. But let's try that. Wait, push, there, knight d4. Hey Rogues, I'm gonna make pairings for the tournament, and then send them to everybody. Wow, 40 seconds. That was a lot on that move, huh? now will just be worse, despite all that thinking, right? I don't see anything really satisfactory here to play. Very unhappy. Bishop h6, threatening this. Just keeps getting worse, it seems. My position looks just completely lost to me. Just the greatest of ease for white. Hanging, 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 king. Just, I mean, a dream. So this game I lost out of the opening, I would say. Rook c1, either rook, super obvious, and then I'm busted. Threatening b4, my queen has to defend this. Yeah, I'll send you a message on chess.com with pairing information. We still need some more players, so between games I'll make an announcement, see if we can find a few more players. Queen e5, bishop here, and take this with the knight. Let me try something super desperate here. B4 looks good. Congratulations. You have murdered me. Whew! It hurts. Yeah, that's enough for me. God dang. Brutal. This is an ancient line. Well, computer says queen b6 is not so good. I thought it was a line here. Yeah, too fancy with the development. Should have just played knight f6 to safeguard the king. Knight f6 and get castled. This queen e2 was a beautiful move, and now I'm busted. Okay. Fair enough. Next game. Oh wait, sorry, 1 second. Cancel. Okay, so folks, real quick announcement. Yes, Baymone, he does. Are you available tomorrow? Hi, Icy Stun. Here, folks, that's the announcement. And I also wanted to just want to check that Rogues 32 is exactly the right chess.com name so I can send a message. Perfect. Okay, so I'll send a message there. Wait, sorry. History. Maybe I'll try and add Rogues as a friend, and that'll make it easier to find them again at times. Okay, so yes, Baymon. Francisco's new nemesis. Would you like to join his tournament tomorrow? It would just be for tomorrow. The one on Saturday is for cash, and that's the 900 to 1300 group. So it would just be tomorrow. And then the other question, Baymon, is would you like to just play against cash, or would you like to play everybody else in the tournament tomorrow? Current rating 11 years. Okay, one game. Thank you so much, Baymon, and also for your help, along the way with the excellent training. So 11 years. Your current rating. There's 2 different groups tomorrow, and then there's one group on Saturday. The group on Saturday is 900 to 1300, right? And the group, and the groups tomorrow, one of them is what, like 1300 to 1650, and the other 1650 to 1950. All right, David and David. Would you be wanting to fit into one of these tournaments, 11 years? Or you, Nebula? My lunch is tempting me, but I have to win one game to eat it. So these are chess.com rapid ratings, and it's based on your current rating. So it's okay if you were once higher than that. Rating's too high. Okay. Future is more likely. Okay, I don't know what that means, David, but if you want to play tomorrow, you would have to let me know in advance so I can figure out the pairings. All right, let's give me one more chance at winning my lunch. Come on, lunch. Yeah, here I don't yet have a new line for white, so let's see what we get. Okay, this opening looks winning for white. Knight b4 was too greedy of black. They got too many things to protect. And I'm not going to be too proud to just win a pawn here without thinking too long about it. They're trying not to let me have my pawn. You must give. Give unto Bruce what belongs to Bruce. Wait, I could be super fancy and play knight d5. Then they can't avoid the queen trade. Some would say that's too much. But on queen d5, they'll probably play bishop b4. Then I'll have to trade queens and play like king e2. That's fine with me. I don't mind that. Knight d5. Let's say they castle queenside and I trade. Yeah, let's just do it. It looks good. That cost me 40 seconds to play that instead of queen takes, which I could have played in, let's say, 2 seconds.
still. I doubt that it was a 40-second better move. I'm going to go win a second pawn over here. Or maybe not. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, I kind of want to play f4 and then knight g3 and stuff. Yeah, my position's very good for all the reasons you say. All right. They eventually had to move the bishop off f8, I guess, which allows this move. This move is everything I dreamed of. f3, rook h4. Rook h4 doesn't help me. This traps that rook pretty much. Knight g7, rook e3, knight e8, right? I mean, this knight's as good as a rook. I don't know how much this helps, but... All right, so I've used up tons of time, but the position is really overwhelming. So I should, they're trying to get me to play rook h7 and get pinned up. I should 100% win a position like this, I would think. I put my rooks on over here, try and get them to work. Oh my god, I just blundered that move. Didn't even see it coming. Honest to God. "20 seconds. Rook e2, king d1, rook d2, king e1, winning. Good little detail for me. Perhaps shaky technique. Some could call this shaky technique.
shake and bakey technique. Yep, I caught that pawn. Okay, I can't lose this anymore. Maybe I should have spent an extra 10 seconds playing that endgame better. I don't know. But I do get lunch at least. At a minimum. Hey, T-Trev. Hey, ZJ. Yeah, I've got a few books that could be good for you. One would be The Art of the Middle Game by Kariz and Kotov. Another would be something like The Art of Sacrifice by Spielman. Let me check. Rudolf Spielman's an old player. But I think for me, it was an inspiring game, inspiring book. So, The Art of Sacrifice, yeah. So, it's easy to remember these 3 recommendations, ZJ. They're all called The Art of. The Art of the Middle Game, The Art of the Sacrifice, and The Art of Attack. Those books are all good for your rating range. All on that topic. I give them to you in my order of most inspiring first. So The Art of Middle Game, Kariz and Kotov would be my first pick. The Art of Sacrifice, Spielman would be my second pick. And The Art of the Attack, Vukovic, would be my third pick. Oh, sorry, YouTube. My YouTube chat was hidden for a moment. What's for lunch? Vegan steak. It's a vegan chicken burger. And bonus roasted cauliflower. Oh my gosh. A million comments on YouTube. I'm so sorry. If you're still around, Papageno, you saw the Leela video. Cool. Got crushed by the bot. Yep. It's so good at giving you so many problems to solve. You could try 15 plus 10 against night odds, yeah? Well, I mean, try it. And if that doesn't work, you could switch the odds, right, Papageno? The idea is adjust the odds until... Sorry, to anyone who doesn't have the context, this is talking about playing practice games against a computer, right? Because computers are super strong. And so people have basically stopped playing against computers. But recently we discovered the answer to that is to play at odds against the computer. Just like if you're 1,000, would it be interesting for you to play against a master? Yes, if they gave you odds. So you have to have the computer give you odds. So Papageno, there's no harm in trying 15-10 once at night odds. And if that doesn't work for you, if you feel like you're still overwhelmed, try rook odds. Or try increasing the time control, depending on which you prefer. You should pick an odds Papageno where you can sometimes win. It's good that you don't mind losing, but you should pick odds where you can sometimes win, you know? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the health information on the vegan chicken. But T-Drev, it's sound, you can play it. Yeah, just just experiment one game at a time. If you feel like you've got chances, then you can try it a few more times. But if you lose at a certain level of odds, like 3 games in a row, I would advise that you push the odds more in your favor so that you're winning, 25 to 75% of the time. That gives you a better experience, to my mind, feeling like sometimes you can win and you could make it, more locked in and invested in the game when you feel like you could. Nebula, I prefer playing over the board. That's just me. So Red Fox, you're saying you can't beat a 300 rated human on chess.com, but you lose to their 900 rated computer, right? Chess.com puts, let's say, very generous rating labels on the computers to increase the user's experience. So it makes you feel like you're beating a 900, then you feel good about yourself, even if their computer engine's playing at 200 or 300 level. Should we see if there was anything to learn from this game while I eat lunch? I'm pretty sure everything was normal till my opponent played knight b4. I think that was a mistake. Normal position. Queen d7 or g6, preparing to protect these pawns. Knight f4, basically winning a pawn, yeah. Now, big question. What was better, knight d5 or queen d5, right, folks? Hey, Tomas, nice to see you. If you mean me and the other senseis, Nebula, we did. Apparently, we just released a podcast on the topic. I didn't realize it was out, but it sounds like Papageno has seen this podcast. Oh, yeah, it's out. What does 3700 ELO mean? Just came out. Okay, so as I expected, the computer says it's very close and not worth any time to think about knight d5 versus queen d5. So basically, I wasted 40 seconds on this move. At least the computer says this move was 0.2 of a pawn better. So at least it wasn't a worse move, but... I don't know that there's a better computer to play than the Leela bots. I think they're great, the Leela bots. At queen odds, the Leela piece odds bot should have a rating of 2550. At queen odds. Oh my god.
Now it says knight d3 or g3 might be a couple tenths of a pawn better than castling queenside here. Now it says knight d3 is as good as knight h5, but knight h5 was great. Yeah, it says black should try f4, which I was thinking. Rook e1 is best, yeah, because I kept expecting f4. See, I sort of knew this pawn was really, really weak in the long run. So I thought that black should sack it to try and break my dark squares a little bit. Since otherwise I will eventually play f4, block it here, and then win it. That was a bad move. This was the right 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 move. Okay, all these moves are right. This is best. Oh, 98 is slightly better than 96. Yeah, of course. Just by a couple tenths of a pawn. But I didn't think on that move. You know, you can't think on every move. Now, I should have seen f5 and g4 coming here. Human-wise, in retrospect, I feel like I should have played king d3. But the computer is saying to play like more pawn moves. How good is this compared to the best moves? Close enough, yeah. Oh yeah, taking was a huge blunder. I should have just ignored this pawn because I can recapture. This was terrible. That dropped a pawn of evaluation. This at least I calculated now. Did what I had to do here. Some good little calculations. Stabilized to my advantage. Seems like I played all the right moves after all. Oh, is this best? Yeah. Okay, well that's weird. I felt like I let it get completely out of control, but that was basically 100% accuracy. And that whole phase, giving up the exchange and trading into the rook endgame and all. So, the obvious mistake was f takes g4, allowing rook takes e4. That was just a complete blackout. I don't know what that move was about. I was surprised by g4, but let's see how quickly I played fg4. I was surprised by the move, but I played this in 2 seconds, and then I sat and thought about what to do about it. So yeah, that was a weird mistake. Hey, Regina. Welcome, welcome. All right. Let's play the next game. Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Looks like we maybe got a German here. Germany. Najdorf. Polugajewski variation. Oh, they expected it too. Oh man, they've been studying my games. Wow. I've never run into somebody who blitzed 15 moves of this like that. Didn't need to double check or review anything. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow. Nice move. I just go with my instinct here. How are you yourself, Regina? This position looks tough for me. How do I ever get this out now? Position looks completely lost for black. So how often is that happening to me that I'm losing within the first opening moves? I can't even castle because it's instant mate. But getting this piece off the back rank is one step closer to maybe figuring out the rook at some point. Basically, they're at a point where they can trade rooks at some point and then play queen b6 and win a pawn over on the queen side. And if they do that, then at least I'll be able to castle because their queen will be doing other stuff instead of mating me. So that's kind of the theory here. Okay. Knight there. Maybe with an idea of like knight f7 at some point. No, knight e6. So make them start having to keep this pawn defended, right? If they're trying to get the rook onto this file. I'll play queen d4 maybe if I can. Too late. Too late. Where are they going from here, though? You know what I mean? Where are they going? Hard to move. Hard to move. Against queen d6, I'll trade the queens and sack this pawn. It's risky, but it gets my rook out. Get into some kind of an endgame. Against knight check, I'm planning like king f8 and hoping that they lose the knight then. Sure, I can survive this. That knight's got to move. And I can grab b2. Right? Cutting off knight f7. But I hung this pawn by moving my knight. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah! Knight takes d7, queen takes d7. Knight takes d7, queen takes d7. King d7 maybe? Yeah, that game was very tense. I was lost out of the opening, but what a save. I was very focused during that game. Generally true, no Minesio. Generally true. Although that game, there was like a give and take, right? Who was up on time changed hands. If you watch. So I played this move, which is probably bad. And you see they thought for 30 seconds, but played a good move, right? I played this on instinct instead of spending a lot of time on it. Instinct, instinct. So I'm slightly ahead on the clock. Now I use my extra time for this. And you see how long they thought about the position? Really, really long time. So now I'm way ahead on the clock. So I've got a good lead on the clock, right? And then here I spent my lead on a very important move. But this was like a critical move, right? I kind of forced them into this queen d6 or knight d6. I calculated a minute that I could handle these, right? And so now we get the endgame. And I was a little bit ahead on time at first in the endgame as well. Somebody says I could have taken on g4, and I did not see when. But okay, this knight is trapped. I didn't mean to hang it by moving this knight. I had to decide which knight to trap, you know? Like, I could have also tried for maybe king here. And then if knight a6, bishop c1, knight check here. But they could have tried, you know, g5, bishop takes, knight g4. I still have to play this endgame. It's really close. Like, black's almost winning, but I think white can still save the game. You thought bishop h2 might have been a bad move, right? Yeah. I wasn't sure about it, but I, you know, played it sort of faster. So... Anyway, so I wasn't sure which knight to trap, but when could I have captured g4 and missed it? Oh, right here. Oh, and I just trapped the knight and didn't take it. But actually, you know, not taking this pawn kept the king from coming up and tagging my bishop. The way I played this position was, again, we were on the final seconds of our time, right? But the way I played it, I'm stopping the a-pawn. I've got king e6, king f7, or e5, e4, e3, e2 to try and win while the knight just sits here. There's a good chance that I'm winning at the end, like on the board finally, as well as on the clock. Let's see. Computer says -2, which I guess doesn't tell us 100% for sure if I'm winning. It plays like this. And then a5, e4. Was e4 right? I guess even the computer's not 100% sure if I'm winning this endgame. It looked this far ahead and then it didn't know for sure. Because the bishop is, you know, kind of busy. I don't know for sure. -2. Let's see if my impressions of the evaluation throughout the game were correct. So first of all, I think g6 is a big mistake here. Computer agrees. Completely winning for white after g6 question mark. c4 exclam. See, white plays good moves here, spending a lot of time on the bishop d1 exclam. That's like a great move to find in a blitz game, right? That backwards move. Beautiful. Just trading off. The idea might be odd to some people because my king looks bad. White's trying to trade off all pieces except the queen on the queen side to leave me with a king in the middle of the board with the rook stuck here. So it's like clearing the jumble in order to be able to get at the king and threaten mate. Rook d1. Best move, bishop d6 or h5. Huh. h5 it says is as good. That's surprising. How's my bishop and knight mate? Instantaneous, Sweet Blues. It's like breathing. It's like speaking English. Okay, bishop h2, bishop e5, pretty similar. Bishop e5 is correct. Takes, queen. And now they have to try knight f7. A hard move to find. Knight f7, king f7, and then queen h6 is the only move, not knight g5 check. Yeah, that was tough. It was going to be hard for them to find that. That's the problem with spending time on the really excellent moves they played before. This position still, to win it, requires exceptionally difficult moves for white. Sorry, what are you asking about learning, Sweet Blues? The bishop and knight mate? Of course you should learn it. It teaches you how to use your bishop and your knight. What? The computer says h6 is better than bishop d4. h6 was my first idea, and then after knight f3, it looked tough to ever make progress. So I forced this move, traded it on purpose. This is good for white now? I did notice this move, rook d1. I did expect it. I just didn't realize it was that good.
I did not know that it was that good.
I thought here they would keep the rook and play, rook d1 or knight f3 even here. Against rook d1, I was planning to play rook f2. Wow. And that's the best move, says the engine. Well, feeling good about that. Grabovich, check. And trapping this knight was the easiest one, right? Yeah, king e7. Knight a6. Oh, instead of bishop c1, g5 here. Oh, freezing the pawn. That's it. GG. White has no passed pawn. No counterplay. Oh, yeah. No way to trade off black's pawns. Here I should go bishop c1. And then at the end I may be winning. Okay. All right, almost time for pickups. Ooh, same opponent. I rarely take this pawn, but let's try it. I think the idea is if white plays knight e5, you don't lose your pawns because you have to move knight d5, blocking the bishop. I never used to play like this, but depending on how they played that prowl, if they trade first on b5 and then play knight e5, I play knight d5. If they play knight e5 first
I'll trade the knight. Pawn takes. Then their knight on e5 is not attacking c6. Then I'll play... Oh, man. So basically, if they play knight e5 first, I'll go trade, 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 and then block the diagonal. And they could go takes, 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 to win back their pawn. And then we get this endgame where I've got the bishop pair. Looks pretty good, right? White doesn't have any special compensation for the bishop pair. Okay, yeah. So when I go knight e5, that there's no bishop c6 check in between move, right? Yeah. And here, there's also no bishop c6 because I'll bring the queen back. All right, not a lot to analyze on that game. Let's just start another one real quick before I have to get the kids. That leaves us barely time for one more game. It was hard to resist playing e4 on move 2 there. Are we threatening this? Not sure what to do about that move. Funnily enough. Okay, they maybe want to play e5. I don't recommend it. But they can if they want to. Okay, two plans. Knight a4 to c5, or bishop b1, queen d3, or just sit around. Or this, which I hadn't even considered, but they can't take because it traps their knight. Wow. I don't know if this is any good or not. Oh, the knight can go to h7. Good God, David. Oh, that's not very good. What I'm doing, I'll just chase the knight back to f8. Who cares? What are you doing, dude? Why is this bishop back here? Ay, ay, ay. Admitting the mistake. Admitting the mistake. Maybe I should have just played e4 though instead of admitting the mistake. Maybe I should put my knight here. I still don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, spending a lot of time and can't find any clarity. My moves are all just random. Just random. Knight check, pawn takes, pawn takes. Queen moves somewhere. Queen g8. Queen check. Knight g6. Bishop takes. Isn't knight f6 just weirdly like winning? Oh, there's king h8. Just ignoring it. Ah. That was weird. Just spent. Oh, at least it was only 25 seconds, not a minute or two. I'll play f6 at some point. Maybe I just recash with my queen. Who cares? Oh yeah, there's maybe also queen e8 refuting the whole thing as well. Good point. I think maybe I'll trade the queen. Play an endgame. Nope. Not happening, eh? Why didn't I see that move coming? Crazy. Crazy, I don't know what to say. Seconds now. I'll ruin this. had a plan. I had a plan.
Yeah!
All right, I might have to go pick up the kids now. Let me just go check real quick. Yeah, we can talk about that next. Okay, I'm on pickup. So, I'm going to have to run here in just a moment. But, before I do, Queen H1, check, King G4, H1, King G5, Queen F3 moment there, I think. I thought I covered H1 with my Queen, no? We'll look at that game very quickly. Before we do, quick announcement, folks. We do still need opponents for Martin and Francisco for tomorrow, and for Cash for Saturday. We need opponents badly. I know there's more than 5 people in the dojo, so I posted an announcement on Discord. I didn't get any responses. I don't know how Discord works, so I may have posted it in the wrong place or done something wrong. But we desperately need a few more people for that training tomorrow. So if there's anyone out there between chess.com rapid ratings, these are between 900 and 1950. There's 3 different groups. So one is 900 to 1300, 1350 to 1650, or 1650 to 1950. We could really use some more people. It is up to you whether you want to play one game stand or the whole tournament. So you could play against all the other dojoers and make a full tournament out of it, or you could just play one game against my student so that they get 7 games in a row and get the training they need for Coach Champs. I'd be very grateful for you for doing a game. And if you're up for more, that's entirely up to you, and happy to accommodate it and make pairings for the whole tournament. Have I changed my approach? I'm certainly not ready to flag my opponents, but I'm playing with the 2-second increments, so it's yeah, Stan. I need a not a might make it, but a yes or no. It could be at 9 or at 10. The event, it'll probably last 3 hours, so I can pair you for one game if you want as like the last opponent, right? Which would be at like 9:45 or so. Yeah, on Friday. Thank you, Foos. Rapid, yeah. Just tell me what time is good for you, right? And I can already put that in my notes here on the pairing time. You'll text me on Discord. Perfect. That makes it easy. All right. Let's check real quick. Hey, Owen. Let's check real quick what was going on in that game. I'll do a longer check on it later. Says bishop g3, bishop d6. I can't really tell the difference. Okay. 3 plus 2 feels like classical. Okay. Oh, look, it's suggesting 95 for me here. That's crazy because that's the plan I played on the next move, right? Now it doesn't like it as much. I don't know what changed. I'll have to look into it more deeply later. Okay, so I should be playing f4. I wasn't sure about that. I played this stupid move. This stupid move. And now I thought of the move e4. And it says e4 is like crushing. But I played one more dumb move first. And then I played e4. Now it says f4. No, e4 is best. I played it. Yay. It says knight e4 is correct here. Huge advantage, it says. Huge advantage. Knight d6. Boom, boom, boom. It says I'm winning, which I felt I was. Rook c7. Queen h5. Queen f4 right now. Nice. Tightening the screws. I thought of the move and didn't play it. I thought of rook d7. I thought of queen e4, rook d7. What does queen e4 do? Nothing really. Apparently queen e4 is just a tempo move so that after they move the rook, you can still go queen f4, which was the correct move. So queen f4, I'll have to look at why that's so strong later. Oh, I know. It's to play g4 and chase them off of this. So they're really having trouble dealing with the threat. Interesting. Okay, so I just played a random move. I should have just taken the a-pawn. I kind of knew that after I blundered rook c8. I was like, oops. Now my advantage is much smaller than before. Yeah, it's just like technically there's an advantage, but it's not really much. Bishop h5, best move, huh? That's random. Every now and then you get one, right? Bishop e2 is stronger for some reason. To swing the queen to h4. Okay, I get it. Queen h4 to f6 and stuff. Okay, and then we just sit around for a while because I was just low on time and didn't know what to do. I should go queen h4 again to f6 with the queen. This was just stupid. I brought their queen to a better square. Didn't know what to do. Moved around. Oh, here I allowed queen h1 check. Yes, that must be what Elise was mentioning earlier. That must have been where I blundered it. Okay. So here I blundered it. They came back. I went on the long diagonal. Won the piece. And now I'm just winning. It says I could even allow queen f1 check and there's no perpetual, but I just covered the h1 square and now I can always block on g2, and then like I was anticipating, you know, queen f1 check, queen g2, they move away somewhere, and then I come here and I'm still covering this. Yeah. Okay, I'll give it a longer look later. Thanks everybody, have a great day, and we'll see you all soon. Let's raid. Matt is working again. Nice. Go Matt. We'll raid Matt. If any of you are interested or willing to play in the tournaments Friday or Saturday, please let me know very soon by message somehow. Chess.com, I'm dpruce. Email, I'm pruce@gmail. Discord, I'm dpruce. Let me know. We need some more opponents.